First, let's get into the unemployment numbers. They're out today. What are your thoughts as we are dealing still with COVID, as we're dealing with this great, what do they call it? Great resignation. Also, inflation all at the same time. What do you think about these numbers?
I mean, I think, in many ways, right, there's a lot to celebrate about the job numbers. But as you and I know, it is not a reflection of a growth for all of our communities. COVID had a significant and uh, impact on African Americans. We know that today's job numbers look more bleaker for African Americans than they did in 2020. And that just tells you, right, that the kind of gaps that exist for the African American community is very much different than other communities. There was a lot of things to adjust to. And so we know that broadband accessibility for African Americans is not the same as the rest of the country. That impacts whether, during COVID, you're able to sustain a job working from home. We know that a lot of the frontline workers that we are so thankful for tend to be African Americans. And so we know it's hard for a lot of people to get back to work. And so, when we are crafting legislation as policymakers, it's good to have an equitable lens to try to close this gap that continues to persist in our communities.
Realistically, can something be done in this moment? I mean, we're seeing crises at every level in every space. Um, can something be done in this moment, or do you just tread water holding on at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, a lot can be done, right? We just have to be thoughtful in the way that we approach. I think oftentimes politics gets in the way. There's problems that you are seeing, and oftentimes they don't get addressed. I think about the baby formula issue. A lot of us were talking about it as young moms. We know what it means to struggle, right? To feed your children. And so when we were hearing from our constituents, we were having conversations with our colleagues in Congress to prioritize talking to the administration to try to come up with a solution. People were like, "Oh, it'll solve itself." And a lot of these things, if you are not being in front of them, they're not going to solve themselves. By the time we all got to a consensus to address it, it was addressed. And I just hope that we get into a space where we work with the urgency that is needed to provide for our constituents throughout this country.
We have way too much free content over here at The Grio. Stream a world with free entertainment, lifestyle, and news content. Celebrating Black excellence 24/7. Download The Grio now. It's free. The Grio.